Hello students, I am Sai Bharadwaj, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE. In this semester, I am going to deal you the Electronic Circuits Analysis and Design subject. In this subject, we are going to deal with the analysis of a different electronic circuits like oscillators, amplifiers and multi-stage amplifiers and etc. So, the topics we are going to cover in the unit number 1 is the small signal amplifiers using MOSFETs. In that, the graphical analysis of the small signal amplifiers and the load line and small signal parameters of the MOSFET and small signal equivalent circuit and small signal analysis of a common source, common drain and common gate amplifiers, and the comparison of these three basic amplifiers configurations like CS, CG and CD amplifiers and some problems regarding to that. And in the second part of our unit number 1, we are going to deal with the JFET small signal amplifiers. So here the small signal analysis of a common source, the common drain and common gate amplifiers we are going to see, and JFET as a voltage variable resistor also we are going to see in the second part. Okay, and in the third part of the unit number 1, we are going to deal with the BJTs. The BJTs are nothing but the bipolar junction transistors, which we have already known. Okay, and what is a linear amplifier and a graphical and AC equivalent circuit of the BJT, and the small signal hybrid pi equivalent circuit and hybrid pi equivalent circuit including early effect and other small signal parameters like H parameter, equivalent circuit and etc. And the small signal analysis of a CE amplifier and CE amplifier with emitter resistor and AC load line analysis and maximum symmetrical swing, and the small signal analysis of input impedance, output impedance and the voltage gain and the current gain of the CBCC amplifiers, and some problems regarding that we are going to study in this unit number 1. First of all, I am going to give you a brief introduction about the BJT. What is BJT? The BJT is nothing but the bipolar junction transistor. Bipolar junction transistor. So, which was invented in 1948 by the Burden, Brattain and Shockley, which contains three adjoining alternately doped semiconductor regions: emitter, base and the collector. The middle region is the base, and which is a very thin region, and emitter is heavily doped region, so we cannot able to interchange the emitter and the collector terminals. Okay, let us see, this is the regions of the bipolar junction transistor, and the three regions here are emitter region, base region and the collector region. Okay, so here if you see, the base is lightly doped and the area of the base is very small, and the emitter is heavily doped and the collector is moderately doped region. And we know that transistors are able to amplify or magnify the signals. So these are used as an amplifiers because of that reason, and the BJT is a current controlled device. Let us see the symbols for the BJT. These BJTs are divided into two types. One is a PNP type of BJTs and another one is a NPN type of BJT. The difference between the PNP type and NPN type of BJT are the arrow mark, which shows the conventional current direction. So if the direction of the arrow mark is going inward, then that is called as the PNP type of transistor. If the direction of the current is going outward, then that is called as NPN type of the transistor. Okay, so let us see what is amplifier first of all. So an amplifier is an electronic device that increases the voltage, current or a power of a signal. Okay, the amplifier is an electronic device that increases the voltage or current or a power of a signal. Any amplifier is amplifying the voltage only, then that is called as a voltage amplifier. If an amplifier is amplifying only current, then that is called as a current amplifier. If the amplifier is amplifying the both voltage and current, then that is called as a power amplifier. Okay, so similarly, the one more definition for the amplifier is given as An amplifier is used to increase the strength of the weak signal. Okay, an amplifier is a circuit that is used to increase the strength of the signal. Okay, let us see what is linear amplifier next. A linear amplifier magnifies an input signal and produces an output signal whose magnitude is larger and directly proportional to the input signal. Okay, so the linear amplifier amplifies the input signal and produces the output signal, that is fine. So every amplifier is doing that one only. So here the magnitude of output signal is larger than the input signal and which is directly proportional to the input signal, which means that if the input is increasing order, output is also in increasing order. Okay, if input increases, output is also increases. If input decreases, output is also decreasing in order. Okay, then that type of amplifiers are called as linear amplifiers. So here this is the black diagram for the linear amplifier circuit. So let us see, Vi is the input signal and here V0 is the output signal. So this electronic circuit, in the sense, this is the amplifier electronic circuit, and the VDC is the DC power supply input. Okay, so we are giving some VDC supply in order to operate this amplifier circuit. We are going to give, and we are going to amplify the Vi signal and then generating the output voltage V0. Okay, so here we are going to use a superposition principle, because we are having the more than one source here, because the signal source is a one signal and the DC source is another signal. So as we are having more than one source, we are going for the superposition principle. Okay, let us see what is Q point. Okay, so first of all I am going to show you the two circuits. The circuit 1A is a bipolar transistor inverter circuit. Okay, so this is an inverter circuit because it was not biased actually. It was biased under the cutoff region of the transistor because we haven't applied any DC voltage at the input side. Okay, here we haven't applied any DC voltage. Here the inverter, in the sense, the input and output are in 180 degrees phase shifted versions. So which means that if the input is positive, output will be negative. Like that these are operating. And the second B figure, that is an inverter circuit showing the both DC bias and AC signal sources in the base circuit. So in order to operate the transistor in the active region, we are going to give one DC supply voltage, that is called as biasing voltage, to our base of the transistor, that is nothing but VBB. And here Vs is the AC signal source and RB is the base resistor and RC is the collector resistor and VCC is the DC supply voltage. Here in this circuit we are applying the AC signal as well as the DC signal to our amplifier circuit. These are all the curves showing the relationship between the input voltage Vi and the output voltage V0. Okay, so this is the transfer characteristics which was drawn between the output to the input, and here the Q point is also mentioned. The Q point values are VCEQ and the VBB. The input voltage which we are going to apply is an AC signal Vs, that is superimposing on the VBB line. Okay, so here the VBB is the reference voltage for the AC signal Vi. Okay, this AC signal Vi, which is assuming like a sinusoidal signal, and this sinusoidal signal is superimposing on the VBB, and similarly the output voltage V0, okay, that is a composition of this AC signal plus DC signal. Here the VCEQ is a DC signal which is providing the DC reference line for the output voltage, and the AC output voltage V0 is superimposing on the DC reference line of VCEQ. Okay, so here VCEQ and VBB are the pure DC voltages. So let us see the summary of the notations what we are going to use in this entire subject. If we are using a main notation which is in small letter and the suffix notation is in a capital, which gives you the total instantaneous values. And if the main notation is capital letter and the suffix notation is also a capital letter, then this type of notation is used for the DC values. Okay, so we can say if all notation terms all are capital letters, then that represents the DC. Okay, similarly, if all the notation terms are small, here I is small, B is small, V is small, BE. So here all are small, then that represents the instantaneous AC values, which means that the pure AC values. And the last one, the main notation is in capital letter and the suffix notation is in small letter, then this type of notations are used for the phasor values. So let us see the graphical analysis. This is the circuit what we are going to use to get the graphical analysis. Here I am going to apply the KVL for output side loop here. So when we apply the KVL, the applied voltage is VCC, which is equal to the drop in the resistor RC and the voltage across the collector terminal to the emitter terminal. So that is represented with VCE. Therefore, the VCC is equal to drop in the resistor RC and the voltage across the VCE. I can get IC current value from this equation. Therefore, ICRC is equal to VCC minus VCE. Similarly, IC is equal to what? VCC minus VCE divided by RC. That is the value of the IC current equation. So in the output characteristics curve, so which is drawn between the VCE output voltage and the IC output current, okay, these are all the output characteristics curves. On this output characteristics curves, we are going to draw the load line. Okay, the load line will contain the 2 points, one is on y-axis and another one is on x-axis. Okay, so we can get the y-axis point by just keeping the x term as 0. Here VCE is the x term, so we are keeping the VCE as 0. Then we got IC is equal to VCC by RC. That is the point on the y-axis for the load line, and for IC is equal to 0. If we keep the y-axis term IC is equal to 0 in the above equation, therefore 0 is equal to what? VCC minus VCE divided by RC. That RC will go to the left hand side and become 0. Therefore, we can get a VCC is equal to VCE. Okay, which means that the point on x-axis is nothing but the VCC. The VCE point on the x-axis is VCE. If you join these 2 points, then we can get this line that is called as load line. Okay, this is called as load line. The slope of this load line is nothing but minus 1 by RC. This is how we are going to draw the load line. Okay, usually we will select the Q point at exact middle of the DC load line. This Q point can be selected by selecting the different values of IC and VCE. So for the Q point, this VCE voltage is called as VCEQ and IC is called as ICEQ. Okay, these ICEQ and VCEQ are the pure DC current and DC voltages. Okay, so the pure DC currents and DC voltages that will select the Q point. So based on the Q point, our transistor will work in the different operating regions. First of all, what is Q point here? The Q point or operating point of a device is also known as a bias point or the quiescent point. There are several names for the Q point. Those are operating point and bias point. Okay, so operating point, bias point, okay, and the quiescent point. So these are all the different names for the Q point. So which gives a steady state DC voltage or current at the specified terminal of an active device such as a diode or transistor with no input signal is applied. Okay, that will give the steady state values of the DC current and DC voltages when the no input AC signal is applied. Okay, without AC signal VI, only VBB is applied, then what is the output voltage, which means that the DC output current as well as the DC output voltage, that is nothing but the Q point. Okay, so let us see the DC load line once. So the DC load line means that if there is no input signal is applied, which means that no AC input signal is applied, then if we draw the load line, that load line is called as the DC load line. So the DC load line analyzes the variation of the collector current and voltages. When no input is applied, then the variations will be analyzed by using the DC load line. And the AC load line, if you see, the AC load line gives the peak to peak voltage or the maximum possible output swing for a given amplifier. Okay, so the AC load line will occur whenever we apply the AC input signal to our circuit. Okay, if we are not applying any AC signal, that load line is called the DC load line. After application of some AC signal, then we will get the AC load line. Okay, the AC load line will gives you the maximum peak to peak swing of an AC voltage. So here if you apply the input signal here, then we may get the output voltage. Okay, that output voltage maximum voltage swing can be given by the AC load line. Okay, the time varying base current will introduce an AC collector current superimposed on the quiescent collector current. Okay, when we apply some base current, okay, which will induce the collector current, that will be superimposed on the quiescent collector current. So it means that, see, when we apply some DC current, okay, when we apply some DC current at the base of our transistor, because of that, the time varying current, AC current, will be developed at the output side, which means that across the collector, okay, and which is superimposing on DC reference current ICQ. On the ICQ, the time varying current is superimposing. Okay, so because of this, the time varying current, we will get the time varying voltage across the collector terminal. That is nothing but VCE. Okay, that is nothing but VCE. So which is superimposing on DC reference voltage, that is VCQ. Okay, so for these time varying signals, the DC reference voltages ICEQ and VCEQ, which means the Q point is the base. Based on that Q point, we are going to develop the AC current as well as AC voltage. The AC collector to emitter voltage or the output voltage in general will be larger than the sinusoidal input signal. Okay, so whatever the AC signal we got, that is larger than the sinusoidal input signal, so that we can say that the circuit is providing the amplification. Okay, then that type of circuit is called as amplifier circuit. Okay, here this AC signal what we have provided at the input side, that will develop time varying AC current across the collector terminal, which is called as IC, and because of the IC current, we are going to get some AC voltage at the output side. This AC voltage is larger than the input sinusoidal signal. Okay, here the input signal is lesser than the output signal. Therefore, this circuit is providing amplification. So the circuit is called as amplifier circuit. Next, we are going to discuss the AC equivalent circuit. So this is a curve drawn between the input voltage VBE to input current IB. Okay, so this is the input characteristics curve. So this is looking like the diode forward bias characteristics, because at the input side of our transistor we have the PN junction that will gives you this type of curve only. So here x-axis point is called as VBEQ, DC quiescent voltage, and the base DC quiescent current IBQ. Okay, so the slope of this curve is nothing but 1 by R pi. The slope of this curve is 1 by R pi, where R pi is the resistance at the input side of our transistor. Here, when we apply some DC voltage at the input side, which is between the base to emitter, so this voltage will develop some DC current IBQ, okay, across the base terminal. and here IBQ is the reference voltage for this AC base current. Okay, so this one is AC base current and this one is AC voltage VBE. So for this AC base current, the IBQ, the quiescent base current, is the reference line, and for the AC voltage VBE at the input side, the VBEQ is the reference line. We can express the base current IB is equal to IS by beta into exponential of VBE by VT. So this equation we can express from the diode current equation. Actually the diode current equation is what? The diode current equation is I is equal to I naught into exponential of V by eta Vt. Okay, so here eta is taken as 1 and V is nothing but base to emitter voltage what we are going to apply at the input side of our transistor. Here I naught is the reverse saturation current that was represented like Is here. Okay, so we already know one thing, the base current IB is equal to IC by beta. IC by beta, or else we know that beta, that is the current gain of that transistor, which is equal to IC divided by IB. Okay, and similarly we can also express the IC current is the beta times of IB current, base current. Okay, similarly this expression we are going to use here. What is this? Is by beta. IB can be represented as IC by beta. Here that is represented like Is by beta into exponential of VBE by VT terminal. Okay, so here Is is a reverse saturation current and beta is a forward current gain of the transistor, and VBE is the base to emitter voltage and VT is the volt equivalent temperature. And this IB current now can be expressed as Is by beta into exponential of VBEQ plus VBE. So we are assuming that this VBE is a composition of AC voltage plus the DC voltage. The DC voltage is referred like VBEQ and the AC voltage is VBE. Okay, so now what we are going to do is expanding the exponential. So exponential of x plus y can be represented like exponential of x into exponential of y, like that we have expanded it. Thereafter this IB is equal to the base current IB is equal to this entire term Is by beta into exponential of VBEQ by VT can be taken as IBQ, the pure DC current IBQ, or the quiescent base current, and this term exponential of VBE by VT is expressed as easily. Now we are expanding the exponential term by using the Taylor series. IB is equal to IBQ and this exponential term is expressed like 1 plus VBE by VT. Okay, when we multiply this term with IBQ, IBQ plus IBQ by VT into VBE we will get. So here IBQ is a DC component and is IBQ divided by VT into VBE is nothing but the AC component, the varying AC component. So that will be expressed like small ib, the pure AC component. Therefore, we can say the base current is a combination of DC current plus AC current because we have applied the base to emitter voltage, which is a combination of AC and DC, that will develop the DC current as well as the AC current. Similarly, we can write IB is equal to IBEQ plus IB, which we have derived just now. IC is equal to ICEQ plus IC, and VCE is equal to VCEQ plus VCE. So these all are the combination of the DC component plus AC component. Similarly, VBE is equal to VBEQ plus VBE. Okay, so the base to emitter loop, if the signal voltage Vs is 0, then the base to emitter loop equation will be equal to. So here what I am going to do is the base to emitter loop, I am applying the KVL equation and I am assuming the Vs is equal to 0. So which means that we can able to short circuit this Vs voltage as we are applying the pure DC voltage to our circuit. So here the pure DC voltage and DC current will be developed. Therefore, IB is nothing but a IBQ current into the RB. Okay, VBB is equal to IBQ into RB, and the pure DC voltage between the base to emitter, which is a VBEQ. Okay, so VBEQ that was mentioned in the equation number 1. Okay, and if we have applied the Vs, then here we have the two sources. One is a AC and another one is a DC. Here VBB is a DC and Vs is a AC. Therefore, VBB plus Vs is equal to, when we apply the both DC and AC, we can get the both DC current as well as the AC current. Okay, this IBQ is represented like DC component plus AC component into RP, plus this VBEQ is also represented with a DC component plus AC component like this. Okay, we are rearranging these two terms just like AC components one side and the DC component one side like this. Here VBB minus IBQ RB minus VBEQ, these all are DC terms, that is equal to IBRB plus VBE minus Vs after rearranging this equation. Okay, so from the equation number 1 we can say that the VBB is equal to IBQRB plus VBEQ. Now we can rearrange this equation number 1 like VBB minus IBQRB minus VBEQ is equal to 0. Therefore, the left side LHS portion of this equation will be equal to 0. Therefore, the right hand side equation we have IBRB plus VBE minus Vs. Here IB is the AC current, AC base current into RB plus VBE is the AC base voltage and Vs is the AC signal source what we have applied. Okay, and which is equal to the 0. When we take the Vs to the right hand side, that will becomes a plus Vs. Therefore, Vs is equal to IBRB plus VBE. That is equation number 2. So here if you see Vs, at the input side we have only the AC signal source that provides AC current and AC voltage at the base circuit or input circuit of our transistor amplifier. Again, I am assuming that the signal source Vs is 0 and the collector to emitter loop will be equal to VCC is equal to ICQRE. Here IC is nothing but ICQ RC plus VCEQ, that is a pure DC output loop equation. So here I am assuming that again the Vs is applied. Therefore, VCC is equal to ICRC plus VCE. Here this IC is nothing but a combination of AC plus DC component. Okay, so now I am replacing this IC in terms of the DC component plus AC component and the VCQ also in terms of the DC voltage plus AC voltage like that. Okay, so after rearranging the terms in terms of the DC one side and the AC terms one side, from the equation number 3 we can say the VCC minus ICQRC minus VCEQ will be equal to 0. Therefore, the above equation can be rearranged like ICRC plus VCE is equal to 0. Okay, so from the equation number 3 and equation number 4 we can draw the AC equivalent circuit. Okay, so in the AC equivalent circuit, the input side loop equation is equation number 2. Here the Vs is equal to IBRB plus VBE. So here we have only one AC signal source Vs and that will develop the voltage across RB resistor as well as the base to emitter voltage. Okay, so that we have written the circuit like by keeping all the DC voltages to the 0. Here the VBB has been taken as 0 and at the input side Vs is equal to IBRB plus VBE, and from the equation number 4 we don't have any voltage source at the output side loop. Therefore, 0 is equal to ICRC plus VCE. Therefore, this VCC DC source has been given to the ground, which is nothing but the 0. VCC is equal to 0. Therefore, ICRC plus VCE, that is the output loop equation. So, by using equation 3 and 4, we have drawn the AC equivalent circuit for our transistor amplifier. Okay, this is how we have to draw the AC equivalent circuit. Okay, so in the next class, we are going to see the small signal AC analysis of a transistor. That means that the equivalent circuit for that transistor we are going to find out.